It's time for Recipe of the Day. One of the tricky things about cooking for a small household is getting those big batch comfort foods without all the leftovers. Sometimes leftovers are great, and if you're great at putting them in the freezer or remembering them in the fridge and them not getting freezer burnt in your freezer or getting pushed to the back of the fridge, then make your favorite big batch of chili. But if you just want some comfort tonight and you want it to be quick, this makes enough for 2 good-sized servings of chili. And the recipe doubles really well. So if you actually do want 4 servings, enough for 4 of you or enough to have dinner tonight and a little lunch tomorrow, then you can double the recipe easy peasy. The key to this recipe is it uses pantry staples other than the ground meat, and there is salsa in there, which really is, if you think about it, slow cooked onions and bell peppers with the seasonings and tomatoes. So it gives your really quick chili recipe that slow simmered flavor without the time, and you're not having to worry about it. Dinner is ready quickly. So really, really easy. Pantry staples, comfort coming your way with just enough for 2, no long simmering required. What you're going to do is heat a teaspoon of olive oil in a medium saucepan over medium heat. Instead of olive oil, you can use whatever kind of cooking oil you like, or since we're using ground beef here, you can even skip the oil. It tends to work fine without it. I would say if you're using ground turkey or ground chicken, which you absolutely can do, you might want to go with that oil for sure, because it does stick a little bit more and it does dry out a little bit more. I'm going to link to my how to cook ground turkey method, which also has how to cook ground turkey breast so that it's not dry. In case you want to make this really lean with the ground turkey breast, you're going to want to follow those instructions. It involves using very finely chopped mushrooms, but don't worry, even if you don't like mushrooms, you don't always tell that they're there. They just make the turkey taste meatier and juicier. Really nice tip. So I'll link to that in the show notes for this podcast for you. But yeah, so you are heating the medium saucepan over medium heat with an optional teaspoon of oil, and then you're adding half a pound of ground meat. That is the ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey, and also a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of chili powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Stir and then stir it occasionally to break up the meat until it's browned and cooked through. That'll just take a few minutes, 4 or 5. Then you're going to add another 2 teaspoons of chili powder along with a half cup of salsa. That can be mild, medium, hot, whatever you like. You want a half cup of it, as well as a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juices and a 15-ounce can of kidney beans that you've drained and rinsed. I will say one of the things I love about this recipe is that it's not using any half cans of anything. You're not left with a half can of diced tomatoes or a half can of kidney beans sitting sad in your fridge with plastic wrap over top. No way. It's all going in there. I have figured out the amounts so that you can use them all and not have leftovers after dinner or have leftovers while you're cooking, neither of which you probably want if you're trying to just have a quick dinner for the 2 of you. So you have added the diced tomatoes and the kidney beans and the salsa. And if you would like it a little spicy, you can add a pinch or 2 of cayenne pepper. Then increase the heat to medium high, give it a quick stir and cover. Cook, stirring every now and then until it's heated through and bubbling. Just 4 to 6 minutes. Then you're going to taste and add some salt if you'd like. I've kept the amount of salt that I added at the beginning low because different salsas have different amount of saltinesses, and I didn't want to put too much because of that. So you're going to taste now, add more salt if you like. You can add a little bit of pepper. You can add some hot sauce, ladle that into bowls. You can eat it just like it is with some cornbread on the side or some sliced baguette or no bread. And you can also add toppings on top if you want, a dollop of sour cream or Greek yogurt, some shredded cheese, some chopped green onion, some lightly crushed tortilla chips are really good on there. And you have quick and easy dinner in one pot. No leftovers and no leftover cans. All delicious and easy. I will put the link to this chili for 2 recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is November 11th of 2025. That is Veterans Day and Remembrance Day in Canada, Poppy Day. Happy Veterans Day and Remembrance Day to everyone, to those who have served and those with family members who are serving now and who have served in the past. And if you are cooking for a small household, if you're cooking for 2 or 3 or 1, come back to thecookful.com. Often there are more recipes for 2 there. And also we have a cooking for 2 community that you will find there as well. It is all about tips and strategies for people just like you and me cooking for a small household. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.